Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
Kia, clear, spilling tea, no fear, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lies right here. Spilling tea, no fear. I'm still here. Da 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 da. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. But I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Make sure you subscribe to the Lakeysha Keysha channel.
Hello guys, and welcome to the show. We're going to get right into the show in a moment, but before we get into the show, if you guys don't remember, Karmelo Anthony was a Texas teenager who was convicted of the murder and sentenced to 35 years in prison for the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old track athlete Austin Metcalf. This incident occurred during a 2025 confrontation at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas, over a disputed tent. This occurred during what seemed to be a delay in what was going on, and it was raining. What was being stated is that Anthony refused to leave a team tent that belonged to the Metcalf school. A verbal argument escalated. Metcalf's his brother, intervened, and Metcalf pushed Anthony. Prosecutors stated Anthony then pulled what appeared to be a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. The defense attorney, which was his defense team for Karmelo Anthony, argued that Anthony was defending himself, and that he was acting in self-defense, and that he feared for his safety. So this is where we are. So what we have today is we're going to have two attorneys that's going to join us live, and we're going to kind of go over the case. And as it states right now, they're at the appellate stage, and we're going to talk about that. Now, if you guys are in the chat, welcome to the channel. Okay, make sure you guys are liking the video. If you are new here, make sure you definitely subscribe to the channel. Make sure you enable your bell notifications as well. And we're going to get started momentarily here. And also, guys, make sure you are liking the video. So I'm just reading some of your chat. What you guys are saying in the chat. And guys, make sure you join tomorrow. Now, I did put in my community, if you guys are not familiar with the community, I'm gonna, while we wait here, I will take you to my community page, because that is where I put a lot of information. So if you're not familiar with that, I'm going to show you how to get there, because initially I do share information there where you can kind of know what's going on. So if you were to go to my page, you would go to post, and then you would go right here. So this is where I post things as it relates to this channel. Now, we do have an interview tomorrow. It will be at about 12 noon. If for some reason it changes, I'll typically change it, and then I'll update the community to say, the time has changed. When, interviewing individuals, sometimes, they may be running late and things like that. So if the time changes, I will adjust it. Just make sure you guys are following the actual community tab, so that you can know if that time has been changed. Now, specifically, let me get into what we're going to talk about today. Let me just go back into my notes, guys, because sometimes I forget this stuff. It's a lot. So as we know, Karmelo Anthony is in prison serving a 35-year term, which we hope to have, overturned, because of course we were not all in court, but we were able to get the information as it related to some of the things that happened in court. What it seemed to be a consensus of is that it doesn't seem like Karmelo received the adequate support that he should have received from his paid lawyer. It didn't seem like the lawyer was representing him, if you ask me, and I wasn't even there. This is just by some of the things that I was reading online and some of the things that I received from people who were actually in the court. So in terms of moving this conversation forward, some of the things that I wanted to discuss today is pretty much the ineffective counsel that most of us agree that Karmelo received. And also, I also learned that when you are being represented by an attorney, in order for you to come back and say, hey, I want to appeal, what I've learned is that the attorney has to object to certain things. So in following this case, what I learned is that the attorney didn't really object to much, but he did object to the situation as it related to the Black jurors. So we know that that happened. But like I said, in moving this conversation forward, I wanted to speak to an attorney or attorneys as it relates to the law and moving this case forward, and how successful, and even what is the likelihood that Karmelo would receive an appeal. Again, I'm not an attorney, and I've said that a million times. So I wanted to speak to some individuals, such as the guest that we have that's going to be joining us relatively shortly, who has an extensive background. And while we wait, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce them. So we have Michael Campbell of Dallas Fort Worth. He's a criminal defense attorney. He is in the top 100 national trial attorney. And it says 17-1, meaning he has won 17 cases, murder cases, and he wasn't successful in one of those cases. Now, I was wondering what is the national trial? What does that even mean? National trial attorney. I was like, what does that mean? The National Trial Lawyers Top 100 is a prestigious invitation-only organization composed of the premier civil plaintiff and civil defense attorneys in each region or state. Membership is selective and based on strict criteria, including reputation, leadership, and trial results. So I thought that was pretty good. Now, I believe Andrew Wilkerson will be joining. He's also a trial attorney, 17 and 1 murder cases. Now, as it relates to Attorney Wilkerson, I noticed both of them actually attended Texas Southern University. Wilkerson attended Texas Southern University as well as Michael Campbell. However, Attorney Wilkerson, it showed that he also attended Good Marshall School of Law. Okay, so we have Attorney Wilkerson here. I'm going to bring him up, guys, and then we're going to get the show going. And then we have Michael Campbell as well.
Hey, how you doing? How are you?
Okay, thank you guys. Give me a moment here while I adjust the screen. I did introduce you guys while you were, preparing to join. Thank you so much for being here. And I told y'all, I think y'all badass. I ain't never met y'all, but I said those are the attorneys that you want if you ever get in some trouble right there. So
thanks for having us.
Yeah, when I saw y'all, I was like, I want them to come on and talk about this case because, like I said, I saw you guys on YouTube, and then I think I saw you on another channel, and you just seemed so passionate about everything that was happening. So I said I wanted to invite you on, and then we could just go from there. I'm just gonna listen to what y'all have to say, and we just gonna soak up this knowledge, and we just glad that y'all are here.
No doubt. Thanks for having us on. It's a pleasure to be on. We're going live, so we're going to figure it out as we go, but it is a pleasure to be on. For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Campbell. I'm a 16-year practicing criminal defense lawyer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Texas. I have a specialty in criminal law, criminal defense work, in particular murder cases. Currently, me and Andrew have a high success rate in winning murder and capital murder cases in Texas.
How you doing? I'm Andrew Wilkerson. First of all, thank you for sharing your platform with us. We're elated to be here. For those of you that don't know, under my face right there, Attorney Andrew Wilkerson. I've been working one half of the Not Guilty Boys. I've been working in criminal law about 13 years, trying to get into some civil as well, but trial is what we love to do. 17 and 1 in murder cases, and that's just murder cases. But yeah, we love trying cases. We love talking about trying cases. Hopefully we can bless y'all game today with something you didn't know yet.
Thank you guys so much for that. And one thing, before you guys came, I had looked up your background and I had noticed that you both attended, was it Texas Southern University together?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I did.
Well, he went first.
Right. But one of the things I forgot to say is that you guys call yourself the Not Guilty Boys. And that's what I was like, I like that. The Not Guilty Boys. What made you guys come up with that name?
It's a verdict that we started this when Drew called me and said, hey, bro, we have an opportunity to come together as, young black men and start a precedent when young black men attorneys out here representing, first of all, young black men, which is the number one demographic that's charged with criminal cases. But he came, he said, let's start this firm. We started trying small cases like DWIs. We started hearing the word not guilty after those trials were over. Then we picked up more cases, more serious cases, aggravated assaults with deadly weapon, heard not guilty on that. Then we started going into the murder and capital murder lane here in Texas. And we just kept hearing the verdict, not guilty, that 2-word verdict. We just kept hearing it at the end of these trials and at the end of these cases. And we felt like that may be the appropriate term for this team.
Okay. I like it because I saw that. I was like, the Not Guilty Boys. I can roll with that. So I wanted, again, to bring you guys on because I wanted to get your perspective. And I tell my audience all the time, I'm not a lawyer. Now, I can read this stuff and look it up, but I'm not a lawyer. So when I saw you guys, I was like, yeah, I want them to come on and tell us, because again, we're not lawyers. We just go by what we see and what we hear and what we think to be correct. But even me not being a lawyer and everything I was reading, I said, I feel like Karmelo didn't get adequate representation. And that's just me. I said, it just don't seem like it to me. Now, I don't want to get into me, but I had shared with my audience. I said, I remember when I was 20 years old and I had gotten into trouble. Nobody told me about self-defense. So I thought that even if I was in a situation that I was attacked, that even if I, attacked them people back because they was trying to get me, I never knew what self-defense was. You see what I'm saying? So I had shared with them, that is how you're misrepresented when you get the wrong attorney. Like, I didn't even know what self-defense was. I thought because I did what I did. I was wrong, but nobody never told me about self-defense. So ultimately, I was like, I did. I'm just going to plead guilty. So I was sharing with them, you see how that works when you don't have proper representation, because the wrong attorney, and as you guys say on your website, I don't remember the exact wording, but you were pretty much saying if you get the wrong attorney, you're going to be in trouble pretty much.
Right. Right.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, your attorney is supposed to exhibit any and all avenues towards putting that entire situation behind you, regardless of what the disposition is. If you know, I hope you didn't have a self-defense claim back then and didn't use it, but that is pretty much that's a great example of an attorney not being thorough. You have to be thorough. Okay, everything from you never getting in trouble before, all the way to maybe you got jumped on one time and you said in your mind you weren't gonna let that happen again, or whatever. Your lawyer kind of should have did that, man. I'm glad you didn't say his name.
Right. But what I saw, and that's why I like about y'all, because Attorney Wilkerson, you were so passionate, and you stated, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, you had stated that you had reached out to, it was a lady that was saying that Karmelo had saved her son. I don't remember if it was her son or her daughter, but you had liberty in reaching out, because it seemed like you wanted to know, had his attorney reached out to her for her to come in as a character witness? And I believe you stated that she said something about that he hadn't contacted her.
She said no, I would have been there. I mean, my kind of heart dropped when she said that, because what that means is that there was not even an attempt to get her down there. Like I said, I mean, you're supposed to have her, sitting down in the cafeteria, with a bag of chips and a computer or iPad watching her show until you call her name. I mean, that would have been paramount in proving that he does have a regard for human life, that he does care. He's not some thug that just stabbed you and ran off like you didn't mean anything to him. I mean, let's think about where he ran. He ran and found a coach, that would have corresponded with that. They even could have put him on the stand to explain they could have put, I mean, that's 3 witnesses for you right there, or 2, right? You got Karmelo, you got the mama, you got either the little boy or maybe one of the officers that came to the scene and responded that day that know about what, you see what I mean? And that just would have shown the jury, or at least given them something to play. And I'm not making any excuses for this jury, mind you, because I don't agree with what they went with. But I will tell you that in punishment, at that point, it's no more about me convincing you if I did this or not. It's about me convincing you to remain that same person that you were when we were picking the jury, when you said, I don't know if I can give somebody life, or I don't know if I could give somebody that many years. We need you to be that person now. We need you to go on the lower end, and understand that this was simply an isolated situation. This wasn't some planned thing. I have a history of saving lives. That should mean something.
Right. Right. Another thing you said, Attorney Wilkerson, you said that I'm not going to use everything you said because I don't recall, but you were mentioning something in terms of the opening statements, and he was like even a little bit jittery on that. And I like when you were, giving your example, because it's like you were saying, no, you tell them this is what I need you to do.
Right. You were talking about closing, like I said, and I say this for Mike as well. We weren't there, right? So I'm reading, I'm clicking, I'm swiping just like everybody else. Right. And I think I saw something that kind of had part of his closing verbatim, and he just sounded like he was standing on the fence. And you ain't supposed to be standing on nobody's fence. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to be in your backyard yelling to this jury what you believe and which box they should check. You don't present it to them like it's a choice. You present it to them like after seeing all the evidence and seeing how I cross-examined all these witnesses and showed they were alive. You have to, as a responsible juror. It's the law. Like, you are responsible to be a truthful juror and only use the evidence presented in this case. So it ain't a choice. Like, it ain't you get to wake up and decide if you want to do it. No, I'm holding you to that, to what you told me during jury duty. Jury duty This your duty. You see what I'm saying? This is your job. I got a job to do today, and so do you. And for me to present it like, well, I'm not gonna tell you what the correct verdict is.
Right.
Oh my God, that's heartbreaking. That's
Right.
heartbreaking.
Right. And that's why I said I like them, because even being a juror, if I'm sitting there and you're not standing up like you should be, I'm gonna start to wonder, do you think your client is guilty? Because you should say it exactly how you said it. This is what you need to find. You need to find him not guilty. All
Right.
of the standing on, I was like, I don't know. So based on that, I want you, from your professional experience, obviously you both are attorneys. None of us was in the court. We're just going on what we read and what was reported and what people have stated. Based on what you have learned in terms of this case, what would you consider some examples of, I don't know if ineffective counsel, is that even a word, or did we just make that up too? Is that really the word for it?
Right, ineffective assistance of counsel. And I'm gonna do this a little backwards. I'm gonna talk presently and work our way back. So presently, Karmelo Anthony's appellate team has a motion for new trial filed with the trial court, requesting that they reconsider and open up a new trial for Karmelo based on what I believe, and I haven't seen the motion, but what I'm pretty sure is going to say is ineffective assistance of counsel. Okay, that ineffective assistance of counsel is one avenue, is one roadway towards getting a new trial. It's separate from the appeal. Okay,
Right.
It's a post-conviction relief that also gives Karmelo Anthony a roadway to a new trial. But the way that it works is right now, Judge Roach, the trial judge, still has jurisdiction over that case. He doesn't lose jurisdiction until 75 days after the verdict. I think the verdict was like June something earlier this month. But anyway, he has jurisdiction over that case 75 days after the verdict. So the motion for new trial has to be filed within 30 days. That'll put it at July 9th. Right, the verdict was June 9th because the deadline is July 9th. And what that does is, because the same judge, Judge Roach, will have to make the ruling on the motion for new trial. So essentially there would need to be a motion. He has 3 days, okay, after the motion to recuse is filed. He has 3 days to either voluntarily recuse himself or deny recusing himself and send it to the hired judge for the hired judge to choose the independent judge to have that hearing just to decide whether or not he should be recused or not. So that will be between Karmelo Anthony's appeal lawyers requesting Judge Roach to be recused, and I'm assuming Collin County Prosecutor Office said that no, Judge Roach did everything right. He should remain as judge on this motion for new trial. So, but the problem with Judge Roach is those statements he made. Never in the case have I seen a judge come out so quickly and say, yeah, I made all the right rulings. I was fair. He got a fair trial, and I felt like he was guilty. It was everybody saying, well, he didn't say anything biased. It's the I felt like he was guilty part. Okay, because as a judge, your job is only to be the referee of the case. You're not a player in the game. You're just the referee. You call balls and strikes. So as a referee, you're to be impartial. How can we ensure that Karmelo Anthony got a fair trial when you had it predetermined in your mind that he was guilty? How does that predetermination not affect your rulings as the trial judge? And now even more so, going back to this recusal motion, now that you have said that out in the public, why should you remain on this case now that you strongly believe that he's guilty? You're not going to give him a motion for new trial. You're not going to even give it a true consideration, a real consideration. You know, so that's why they're moving forward with the recusal. But yeah, I think I missed your question somewhere there, but I want to address the recusal motion.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, because again, I always say this, I'm not an attorney, because they be like, you should be. I'm glad y'all know I'm not an attorney. But when I saw that, I knew he was doing the appeal, but then I saw the motion for new trial, and I said, well, I thought the appeal was a motion for new trial. So I'm glad you separated the two. They're two different things.
Yes, can
Different
I
things.
close on that? So the motion for new trial gives the appellate team an extension to file the appeal brief in the appeals court. So the Fifth Court of Criminal Appeals in Dallas, Texas, will handle the appeal itself. The motion for new trial will still be handled within Collin County 296 court, whether that's Judge Roach or if he's a recused, another independent judge deciding whether or not Mike Howard was ineffective.
See, I like that. I like that because it's almost giving him two additional chances. Because is that correct? Am I saying that correctly?
It's two ways. Yeah, it's two ways to, it's multiple ways to skin a cat. So
right.
Yeah,
like,
that's what it does.
I like when I see attorneys, because sometimes I meet attorneys and I be want to say, did you really graduate? Because they act like some of them are non-resourceful. And it's like you went to school for all of that and it ain't nothing in there that you can pull out. I like that. Because they're like, listen, we're going to keep our appeal out there, but we're still going to address this. I love that because I'm not a lawyer. I didn't know that. When I saw it, I said, okay, isn't that? So I'm glad you answered that. Great. Like it. I like it. I like it. But with that stated, though, that simply means that if he gets this new trial, what they're doing is they want Judge Roach to go away and get a new judge to give him a new trial, but it will still be in Collin County.
Right, but understand this, okay? The first step after you file your recusal, because me and Mike have filed several recusals where we felt that the judge just simply wasn't going to be fair to our client because he wasn't fair to us, okay?
Right.
But the first thing is for that judge to recuse himself. You gotta understand how the law set up is just wild. Like, you got to be a certain type of person to not only acknowledge your mistake, but also to acknowledge the optics of your mistake, and then go further and take yourself off the case. So I'm saying all that to say I don't think he's gonna do it. That's what I'm saying. Now, the next thing will be for them to have a hearing, okay, for them to try to prove it up that he should be recused. If he recuses himself, it's over with. But I wanted to backdoor Mike and basically say, it seems messed up that he said that on the news, but Mike, like I know, you can't file a recusal based on rulings.
Right.
So he really gave him something to play with. You see what I'm saying? Right. If he wouldn't have said that, I don't know how they would have been able to file the recusal. Because I can't not like your rulings as a judge and say you're being unfair. That's not the way it works. The way it works is that, for instance, Mike went up to a judge one time over our murder case and started talking to him at the bench, and he put his hands in his ears. You see what I'm saying? That has no. Am I lying, Mike? We got that judge off the case.
He put his hands. Oh my goodness.
We got that judge off the case. We got a hung jury, 11 not guilty, 1 guilty. And then our client got offered 3 years deferred probation. He's done. Everything dismissed. But anyway, I don't really know where you go with that, other than, thank you for going on the news and saying that, because now I have ammunition to file this recusal. But Mike, I don't know what it would have been based on if he had never said that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's why you gotta let a fool just talk. You just gotta let them talk, and they'll talk their way right into a recusal filing. You see what I'm saying? And I do believe, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, if he's recused off of the motion for new trial and his appeal is good and there's another trial, he off that trial too, right?
Right. He's no longer touching the case again. Right. So if he gets recused, Judge Roach won't be on the case again. It'll be an independent judge that is assigned to the case until the case is finalized again.
And before that happens, think about this. How could you possibly allow this man to sit for the motion for new trial when he's got on national news and said, I think this man's guilty?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know.
Exactly. So with that, Keisha, what I want to let you know also is deeply into the ineffective assistance of counsel. What Mike Howard did, what Mike Howard didn't do. And this isn't based on my personal opinion. This is based on numerous conversations with experienced trial lawyers in Texas. This is based on there's a Zoom call with all the Texas Criminal Defense Lawyers Association. We get on a Zoom call every Wednesday, and it didn't matter the color of the attorney, whether it was a white attorney, black attorney, Hispanic, orange, blue, pink. They all thought, excuse me, that Mike Howard's representation of Karmelo was not up to par. It was not up to the standard of what a defense attorney can do. Let me tell you this, Keisha. Baby lawyers fresh out of law school, baby lawyers, they know to give mitigating evidence. They know to bring character evidence. They know to show that he's a good person, to prove that he ain't never been in trouble before, to call his pastor or his teacher or his counselor to say good things about it. The baby lawyers know that. So it is a fair question to ask Mike Howard, why did you not put up mitigating punishment evidence, which as an attorney, a trial lawyer, when you sign up, you sign your name on that case, you signing your name on for the guilty and innocent phase. And if you're smart, you're going to be prepared for the punishment phase, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get a not guilty. Thank God we ain't been to punishment too often. But we also have been prepared when we got to punishment and still got favorable outcomes for our clients. Because even though we went to punishment, our clients still walked on probation. Our clients still got lesser and lighter sentences. And that's with all white juries. That's because we was prepared for the mitigating part, the punishment phase. That is a woefully disservice what Mike Howard did to Karmelo Anthony by not being prepared for the punishment phase of this case. Right. That's one of the things he did. Not calling Karmelo to the stand. And I'll let Drew elaborate on this, but not calling Karmelo Anthony to the stand. I've gone back and forth with people, Facebook lawyers, you know, they want to go back and forth. Make no doubt about it. This case comes down to what Karmelo Anthony was thinking at the time he acted. That is the law that applies, not force for force. You don't have to match force for force in Texas. If I reasonably believe that I'm in threat of imminent fear of serious bodily injury or death, I can defend myself. And guess what? I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait till you attack me to defend myself. I'll be dead.
Right.
Yeah, I can throw the first punch and still claim self-defense.
Right. And the law says that. Yes.
It's what's in my mind. And if I reasonably fear, and then some people say, well, I wouldn't have did that if I was him. Well, first of all, you're not similarly situated to Karmelo. He's a 17-year-old kid. First of all, he just start there. He hasn't fully developed his mental capacity to think in high pressure situations like that. That's first of all. Second of all, do you have epilepsy?
Right.
Because Karmelo Anthony had epilepsy, and that came up in the opening statements by Mike Howard, but he didn't go into that in his. He didn't call a medical expert. He didn't call Karmelo's doctor to talk about the effects of epilepsy. If someone is to fight you or jump you or beat you, how that could affect you. Maybe that's playing in Karmelo's head at the time he's acted. Also, the fact that these twins are known bullies. And we don't know what Karmelo, Frisco's not a big community. Right. Okay. And these kids all on TikTok, on Instagram. You don't know what Karmelo knew about these. I'm going to say the word because their mama said it last night, about these bullies.
Right.
They all mama call them a bully, so I'm going to call them a bully. You don't know what Karmelo knew about these. Oh, there go the 𝐬𝐸𝐾 twins. Oh, I need to defend myself because they known for being crazy. They'll threaten some cheerleaders. So not calling Karmelo to testify to what was playing through his mind at the time he acted on a self-defense case is, I think, ineffective. What you think, Drew?
I think ineffective is a nice way to put it. I mean, like I said before, I don't think, I mean, anytime we go to trial on a murder case, we try to get a not guilty on the murder and a not guilty on the lesser included manslaughter, or we're trying to get a not guilty on the murder and a not guilty on the manslaughter. I say that to say both of those deal with your mens rea in your state of mind. Either you were so scared that you did it, or you were so angry that you did it. But either way, I need you to tell me what you were thinking when you did it. So That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like they backed themselves into a corner. It was almost self-inflicted by not allowing him to testify. I mean, I hear this and that about maybe there was some text messages that he sent that could have, detrimentally affected him. Man, I see that's why I think that we are successful on the level that we are, and I'm saying that humbly because you got to overcome that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You just got to overcome it. Let the prosecutor tell their side and overcome it. Don't
Right.
not tell your story. Let them go crazy on you. And now when you get a one-word verdict, we kind of trying to pick the pieces up. And I'm not aiming it at the client. I'm aiming it at the attorney. You see what I'm saying? So it's like for him not to take the stand, man, in either case, like even if, okay, you didn't put him on the stand for guilt and innocence because of the text messages. But you
Right.
did put him on the stand during punishment to get him less time. Even
Right.
that would be understandable. But to not let the jury hear from him, think about it. How you know what I'm thinking right now? I mean, seriously, it's that simple. I would have to tell you. And guess
Right.
what? If I was in a position where I would let you decide what I'm thinking right now,
Mhm.
you probably need to be somebody that got my best interest in mind, or somebody that don't look at me, my black passion is anger, or somebody that, you see what I'm saying? These are white folks you leaving to decide who this young man is.
Right.
And like I said, you can't leave a jury like that to humanize your client for you.
Right.
You just can't expect you expecting too much of these folk. Like part of that is on you. I mean, they are who they are and what they are, but knowing that you should have had a plan. And you ought to be, I would have been, shoving that down their throat. He saved a life. He had a 3.5 GPA. His kindergarten teacher said he was an astute individual that she knew was going to be successful. His senior teacher said the same. The pastor said, the principal said he had never even seen Karmelo, didn't even know his name before this. I would have, I thought about it, and I probably would have, me and Mike, tactically, probably would have had about 10 to 12 punishment witnesses. You want to know why? Because juries forget.
Yes.
All that BS. Mike, how many times we done pulled that? See, I'm going to give them a little bit of sauce. Don't get mad at me, Mike. Because if the DA's listening, they going to know what's up. This how detailed it is. You want to make sure they hear you last.
Right.
If we about to go to lunch and I'm finna cross-examine a witness, I'm gonna stand up, Your Honor. I believe my cross is gonna go past 12:15. Can I just start after lunch? These things are important.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is tactically, the longer that punishment phase would have been, the more of the good evidence they would have forgot. They would have forgot some of them 21 people's testimonies. I would have drug it out. They'd have been sick of seeing me.
Attorney,
Guess what? I'm here today to tell you what good of a guy Karmelo is again. You see what I'm saying?
because I researched this as well, and I didn't know that if a person is charged with murder, although they were convicted, there is an opportunity to get that defendant on the stand to get him. Is it like a manslaughter? Am I correct?
Yes.
Well, it's not necessarily a manslaughter charge. It's the manslaughter punishment.
Punishment. Okay.
In order to get the manslaughter charge, you would have to get the jury to not convict on the murder and then convict on the manslaughter. And then when you go to punishment, it would only be manslaughter time. What is it, 2 to 20?
2 to 20.
2 to 20. So no less than 2, no more than 20. So manslaughter is heat of passion. You want to prove heat of passion during the trial. But the second bite at the apple you're referring to is sudden passion.
Okay, yeah.
So you would just be showing during punishment that this happened because I was so angry that he was bullying me or playing me like you know what I'm saying? Or, whatever may have you. Whatever emotion he was feeling suddenly that caused him to do that. And if the jury believed that, is that right, Mike? If the jury believes that there was evidence presented of it, that there's, I don't know if it's a prima facie case or if it's preponderance of evidence, then they can give him anywhere between 2 and 20.
Right.
Now, it's the second bite at the apple.
His defense had the opportunity, even though he did not testify, he could have put him on the stand then, and they could have still heard from him.
Yes, that's what a trial skilled tried attorney would know and would do. There's been cases where, yeah, okay, even though only one case I got found guilty of murder. Okay, murder is 5 to 99. So at the punishment phase, I tell my client, okay, now it's time to, okay, we got found guilty of murder, but now we can still get a manslaughter at the punishment phase by proving, like Drew said, sudden passion. If they believe that things just got out of hand and you didn't have a reasonable time to cool off and you committed this crime, they can find you guilty of the lesser included manslaughter and do 2 to 20. That is a big difference. 5 to 99, 2 to 20. Had Karmelo Anthony's attorney pushed that harder, then maybe he wouldn't have got a 35-year sentence. In our murder case where our guy got found guilty to one case, that guy got 15 years because we pushed so hard, push to say, look, if y'all don't think it was self-defense, then guess what? He just didn't have time to calm down. It all happened so fast. Sudden passion was a case where the guy was beating on my client's sister and he had to do what he had to do. So they found him guilty, but he only got 15 years. Now, people said that may be a win, 15 years, if he was looking at 99. We didn't like it because we felt like he should have came home. But hey, nevertheless, had you pushed that issue, Mr. Howard, for your client, Mr. Anthony, he probably could have got way lesser than 35 years.
Again, I'm not an attorney, but one of the things, because I watch these court cases all the time, is when the witnesses were put on the stand, the prosecution kept asking them, was it self-defense? And I'm like, they can't ask them that. You know what I mean? Because these are regular people. Now, if you ask how many witnesses was it? 20? I don't recall. So I feel like even in that situation, we all are not perfect. How many times did Mike sit there and allow him to continually ask that question and never said anything?
Well, I heard that question, but the correct question is, did he object when it happened, and did he preserve error for appeal? Because quite frankly, the prosecution asked crazy stuff all the dang time. But what you got to do, he was supposed to object, that question causes for the witness to make a legal conclusion. And what that means is, what you were saying in layman's terms is, this person isn't a lawyer. Right. This person doesn't know. This person would need to know the legal definition, the black letter of the law definition to self-defense to even answer that question. See what I'm saying? What people say in self-defense is in a barbershop and a beauty salons, that don't suffice. You see what I'm saying? They need to know what's going on. So, and you could also object to them making an opinion on an ultimate issue. Now, me knowing what I know, they may be able to get away with a witness making an opinion on an ultimate issue. But I would still make the objection just to throw the prosecutor off, okay? Right. But you object to that every time, and then if the judge act like he getting tired of you, you object to it again. And then you ask for a running objection to that line of questioning. Right. Okay. And not because you poking at the judge, but because you are blatantly putting in the jury's face, they not supposed to be asking them this. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes what I do, I'll say, Judge, this is misleading. They're not supposed to be asking, because the jury needs to know. Right. You know what I'm saying? The jury just needs to know. You got to find a way to the tricks and the trades of this thing to get these people to see it your way, or the way that they ought to see it, not your way. But yeah, that's if that really happened, now what I do, I can relate to this, because in a murder case, I think, Mike, we ask every witness, the last question we ask them is, you're not here to testify to what my client was thinking that day, are you? You're just here to show the jury these pictures that you took of the crime scene, isn't that right? Oh, no, I'm not here to do that at all. No further questions. You can go X them off the list, jury. That witness didn't help you at all. You see what I'm saying? So I can sympathize with what they're doing, but it's still improper. And it would definitely be an appealable issue. I would think, but not if they didn't object. If they didn't object, you waive your appeal. So.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because that was one of the things that I learned by listening to all these other attorneys, one of the things they consistently stated that if your attorney does not object, you cannot appeal that particular issue. I know I'm saying it wrong, but essentially, if your attorney don't object to whatever they consider is incorrect, then you can't to the appeal court and say, I want to appeal on these specific things.
Right.
You said it right. Yeah.
The Sixth Amendment gives you the right to adequate and complete and a full defense, and the right to counsel. And that counsel being adequate and providing effective assistance is knowing when to make the timely objections. I tell a jury when we pick a jury all the time, don't worry about objections. That's what we have to do as attorneys. As a competent attorney, I have to object. Whether the judge is ruling against me 100-0 or ruling in my favor 100-0. Y'all don't worry about that. That's our duty as a lawyer doing our job, is to object, and it's the duty of the judge to make his ruling. But if we do not object, if we do not stand up and object, and you get judges that try to, and see, that's why you got to have a strong attorney, because you get judges that try to little boy you. They try to tell you to sit down and shut up. And although that is so improper, especially when it's a white judge speaking to a black defense lawyer, but we'll get past that. But that is so improper to tell them to sit down when I have a duty to stand up and object for my client. But if you got a timid lawyer, you know, who is more worried about his friendship with the judge after this, he's not going to push that envelope like a mean.
Right.
Because when we go in court, we're not worried about our friendships and our relationships with the DA. We're only worried about our client. And there's been plenty of times where we jeopardize our own freedom for the full defense of our client. Okay. So you got judges that will try to discourage you from objecting, but you still have to stand up and object. And you know what? Even if he continuously to overrule your objection, just make a running objection. The Court of Appeals will still acknowledge a running objection. But again, tried and experienced lawyers know this. So if I don't know if Mike made that objection or not. I talked to Mike Howard. He responded to the email. He said he made the objections. I pray that he did, because then Karmelo may have some action at appeal.
Right. I love what you said, because I started watching the Young Thug. Obviously, this is not related to the Young Thug case, but I watched it late, and I was like, look, I ain't never met Brian Steele, but I feel like he can come to the barbecue any day. When I saw Brian Steele said, if you're going to put me in jail, put me in there with my client, because we still got a case. I said, listen, Brian Steele, listen. So
hey, Brian Steele went in there and did push-ups until the judge let him out. Come on now. What's more G than that? You know what I'm saying?
Bad boy.
But before Brian Steele, I knew of an attorney named Andrew Wilkinson that got put in jail in the middle of a trial here in Dallas for contempt. Long story short, our client was accused of fighting a transgender, and they was trying to make it seem like it was a man versus a woman. So even though his medical record still had him as a man, his legal name was a man, they insisted on calling him she and calling him by his name. And we insisted on calling him he and calling him by his legal name. And that just got real highly contentious, to the point where judge tried to tell Drew not to do it. He put Drew in jail in the middle of the trial. Bro spent about 9 hours in jail, right? Got out the next day. I went and met him right outside Frank Crowley. Got my boy Ty right, put his suit on, make sure he was mentally right. And when I say he went in there and kicked their ass the next day, and we got a not guilty, in the middle of trial, he went to jail. And we got a not guilty on that case. So look, do what you got to do, but we're going to do what we need to do for our clients. We're going to do what we need to do for our clients.
I mean, I don't like that you went to jail, but I love that you stood on business, because these scary attorneys, I don't like that. Don't be an attorney if you're scared. The judge is nothing more than an attorney that is elected. Are you okay? You respect them, but they have to respect you. And I feel like when you go in there and you stand on business, although they may make it seem like, okay, we ain't friendly with them, they're going to respect you more, because they're going to understand that they can't play with you.
Right. Exactly.
Indeed. Indeed.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yes, ma'am.
So much. I don't know if you got, something else you want to say, but you guys, I thank you for coming on. Maybe we can have you back again. I put you guys in my community to make sure you guys are following them. They have the Not Guilty Boys Instagram, but then they have their separate Instagrams, which I put in our community. And also they are here on YouTube. So make sure you guys are following them at the Not Guilty Boys.
Yeah, y'all check out
We
our
appreciate
podcast.
you.
Check out our podcast on YouTube, on all the platforms. So Not Guilty Boys. We cover a lot of legal topics, what to do when the police pull you over, what to say, what not to say. We try to educate the community, what to do when you get summons to jury duty. So we got a lot of good topics, educational, informational topics for the community. So y'all tune in to the Not Guilty Boys, subscribe on YouTube, and we plan to bring more information to the people. But Keysha, thanks for having us on. It was a blessing, and we really appreciate you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right, have a good one.
Yep, you too. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. I just didn't want to, keep them on for too much longer. I feel like they gave us what we were looking for. What are y'all saying in the chat? That's just reading y'all messages here that y'all got in here. What are you guys saying in the chat? Okay, make sure again you guys are following them. Let me go. I can go quickly here to YouTube and take y'all to their YouTube channel. I know I did share it in my community, but let me just share it again with you all so y'all can kind of see where they are. Go ahead and make sure you are, following them on their YouTube. They have their own YouTube channel called the Not Guilty Boys right here. Go ahead, make sure you guys are following them. Attorney Andrew Wilkerson and attorney Mike Campbell. Go ahead, y'all make sure y'all follow them over there on their podcast. And also, again, check out, my community page on YouTube. I did link their individual Instagram. Again, they are the Not Guilty Boys on Instagram. Go ahead and follow them, guys. So I'm just going to read some of what you guys are saying in the chat really quickly here, what y'all saying. Somebody said, listen, now y'all keep on saying I need to go to law school, and I keep telling y'all I don't got the money, okay? To be honest, I actually wanted to go to law school. I got my master's. Y'all, do y'all know how much law school costs? I would need a, what is that thing called? A scholarship. I am debt-free as it relates to student loans. And listen, I am 51. I think y'all probably don't think I am. I don't want no debt like that. I'm telling y'all, I don't want it. What are y'all saying in here? Yeah, but you know what? I probably would, but I don't know if I can do it with the, I don't want no more debt. I'm done with the student loan stuff. All my stuff was paid for. I told you I did special education. I was a principal, worked at a school, so I don't have no debt. But if y'all know somebody that's giving away scholarships, I would love to go to law school. But other than that, I can't do it. I don't want to pay that. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. But guess who is going to law school, though? My daughter. I'm going to vicariously live through her, I guess. Because, baby, I'm not going to be able to do it. But you know what, though? I love law. I really do. I love learning the different things, and I love it. It is very entertaining to me. But, yeah, I could not go to law school. I did not have the money. When I was in college, I worked, and then I went to school. Law school is like you got to just go. I wasn't able to do that. So if I got a scholarship, I can go. But I don't think I can do it. So what did y'all think about the interview? What did you think? Let me know what you guys think in the chat as it relates to the interview. Now, I did send them some more questions, And I had spoke to Attorney Campbell, which is Mike, and he did not want to, they didn't want to speak on all of the conspiracy stuff because, of course, we've talked about it over here on this channel as it relates to the actual stabbing. And I said, listen, I don't believe he did it. Like, until he say he did it, I don't know if he did it. But of course, you know, they did not want to speak on that, which I totally respect. They are attorneys. Now, although we regular everyday people can have our conspiracy theories over here, you know, as them, you know, being attorneys, he didn't want to kind of get into all of the conspiracy theory stuff, which I totally respect and understand. But y'all do know I'm gonna keep on with my conspiracy because, again, I don't know, based on everything that I have saw and with them messing with this video, I don't know what the hell happened. I'm just being honest. You know, there was a statement, but I have never heard the full statement where Karmelo said, I did it. So until I hear that, I don't know if he did it or not. But I think it was a great interview. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all think it was a great interview? Somebody said, I signed up for the Not Guilty Boys podcast. Go ahead and support them Black brothers. They doing the thing out here in them Texas streets. Listen, hopefully you ain't, you know, you don't need that type of lawyer. Okay, stay away from the crazy people. But if you do, you know where to find them at, honey. The Not Guilty Boys. They out here in the streets. They are out here. Team Karmelo Anthony. Now, if you guys have not liked the video, I do need you guys to like the video. Now, I love that y'all, you know, you like the interview, but the way that you show me that you like the interview is really simple. Just like the video. Like, you know, the thumbs up. Go ahead and like the video. I need everybody in here to like the video. You all are telling me that you like the interview. The way that you show me you like the interview is simply by liking the video, okay? Let me just send this chat text. Give me a second, y'all. So if you guys can do that, that will be absolutely great. What y'all saying? Somebody said I'm following them. Great. So yeah, make sure you're following the Not Guilty Boys podcast here on YouTube. Go follow them on Instagram. And then once you get there to the Not Guilty Boys on Instagram, you will see their individual links and follow them as well. Make sure you guys are doing that. Okay, I'm about to block you. So somebody sent me a message and said they were blocked. I'm sorry. Sometimes I be blocking the wrong folks. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Like I just blocked somebody, but I do realize that I may have blocked some people by accident. I don't know how to unblock you. So just go ahead and create you a new page. I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix it. But if you were blocked by mistake, I really apologize. It does happen. Now, if you guys want to come up a little bit, I do got about another hour. We're actually I was supposed to go to the spot yesterday. It didn't work, but we're going to go today. So I got about another hour before I need to head out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link. If you guys want to come up, you are welcome to come up. Just give me a second. You are welcome to come up. I'm just going to drop the link. If you want to come up, guys, I got about another hour here. She's going to read. Again, if you guys listen, this is how it works. If you want to, you know, put comments in the chat, you obviously keep doing that. But if you want to highlight your comment and you really want me to read it, you have to super chat it. Simple. The reason why we say super chat the questions is because the comment section is full of comments. We can't read them all. So if people really want us to read them, they super chat it. You super chat your question, it shows up green to us and we automatically can see it. Other than that, feel free to just put them in the comments as you have. And I may or may not read it because, again, there's a lot of them in there. So somebody joined. I think you need to rejoin. Let me see. This is going to work. This person's gonna have to rejoin. Somebody just joined by the name of Nikki. Nikki, you're gonna have to rejoin because it's showing that your device is not connected. No, I have never ever lived in Texas. I was not an educator in Texas. No, I have never lived in Texas. Somebody said, was I an educator in Texas? Okay, guys, so we got Brittany. Hey, Brittany.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How's it going? Now, you better not be driving. I hope you
No,
parked.
I'm parked.
Okay. Okay.
I'm parked.
What?
I just got out of the gym. So no, my son was actually bullied and he had a lot, they said racial slurs and all of them for approximately 8 years. My issue with this is I shouldn't have known about preponderance and substantiated from the district. My problem is like I've had this ever since 2025. I reside in the area very close to it. But back in 2025, I said, I'm going to let all the facts come out. The facts never came out in the case. Right? It was witnesses changed their testimonies. I've never known in Texas, especially for them ever to shield something about a black man. If they had something that Karmelo actually did, in my perspective, they would have released it.
Brittany, we can't hear you. Your voice just went away. Brittany, you may have to go out and come back in because we can't hear you. Okay. Hello.
How you doing? How you doing today?
What's up, Ace Boogie? Is it Ace Boogie or Ace Boogie?
Ace Boogie.
What up, Ace Boogie?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, I just well, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to I've been following you for the past couple of days and
Okay.
listen to people we've been having on and listening to like a lot of things I've been bringing up, and the only thing I have to say is that it's unfortunate what happened with Carmelo Anthony. A young man, 17 years old, not at the age of 19, he's in prison. I'm Nigerian, so I have a couple of my family members are lawyers, and all the according to them, of the evidence given, his testimony. Well, he didn't testify, but his admittance on the body cam, even the witnesses, he had no chance of beating this case. It was cut dry murder, and it's unfortunate. I feel like he made a mistake. It's just takes 1 second, and in the split of a second, your life can be ruined though. But it's just according to people that I know that practice law, he committed murder.
Okay. Do you believe in self-defense?
I do.
Okay. So when you say he committed murder, did he act? Do you think he acted in self-defense?
Well, I don't want to give you my opinion. I just want to go off what I know, what I was told, like as far as when it comes to law, especially in the state of Texas. He wasn't in imminent danger of his life.
Were you there?
For him, huh? I was
there?
not there, but according to the witnesses' testimony, and according to himself on the body cam, when they asked him if he was okay, he told them he was fine, and so he wasn't in imminent danger of his life. He told the officer he was fine.
What's the definition of murder? Tell me what the definition of murder is.
The definition of murder? Taking somebody's life away from them unwillingly?
No, that's actually not the definition of murder. Murder is more so a premeditated thing. So you're saying that when he got there on that day, he already knew that he was going to take this boy's life. That's what murder is.
But that's capital murder. If you're doing the definition by the law, that's capital murder. It was premeditated.
Okay. All right. Well,
so you have different types of murders. You have first degree, you have second degree. So there's different classifications of murder. But so that's why he was found on murder. He wasn't found on manslaughter. All right. It's unfortunate. I just give him my 2 cents. But I like what you're doing, and I just want to put that out there.
Well, thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
Too.
All right, Brittany, we're going to bring you back up. I see you here. Hi, Brittany.
Okay, can you hear me now or no?
I can. Yes, we can hear you now.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Brittany.
You said you can hear me. Well, I can't hear you, but if you can hear me, then that's fine. It might just be me. I have T-Mobile, so it is possible.
I can hear you.
My stance on it is that my son was a subject of someone who was outright bullied for 8 years. In the district, they let children, and I'm a mixed woman, I'm white and black. They allowed children to call African-American boys monkey, racial slurs. They allowed them to put their hands on children. And that's my issue. They have this thing called Stop It app. And then on the Stop It app, you're allowed to report bullying. My son did that. And he ended up going to alternative school. He pushed a kid after on the video, it showed that he had somebody put their hands on him and he pushed them. They happened to hit a wall. The reason why this case is so personal to me is because of the fact that I think about the Lord and his grace and his covering over my son and how he could have easily been Karmelo. Because I've had my stance since 2025 was I'm going to wait until all the facts come out. I'm not going to side with the race just because I'm, a black woman. I'm not going to side just because I've had these dealings with Frisco. I am going to wait to hear the facts. And from the court, I haven't heard anything about the facts except inconsistency, right? When he said that I'm not alleged I did it, he did say that he did it, but nothing was proven of what he said he did. He never made a full admission of it. And on the camera, let me just say this. That school that they have cameras all the time on both angles. Both angles they have it. If they had a black man in the state of Texas in 4K, they would have been released that video. They would not have edited it. They wouldn't have perjured witnesses. Like, that's my problem with the situation is this is beyond color. This is to dehumanize a boy. Even like yesterday, Megan, I listened to some individuals and Megan said, yeah, after when the case was going on, I looked up Karmelo and he wasn't anything. He wasn't even going to college. Like, it's like, how dare you as a mother, regardless of what you say happened, as though your son, your child who's white is so much better than the black boy. Because that's what race does come into the factor. They always want to label. Austin has a picture of his whole face, a picture book face or a yearbook face, but y'all got a mugshot of Karmelo. That boy was an A student. Y'all didn't hear nothing on him. If the state of Texas and Frisco ISD, if they had something on Karmelo, they would have had a file. And let me tell you this, my son got a whole repertoire on his resume, everything he did. And this is really passionate to me because I hate injustice. My mother is in jail for 200 years for something that she didn't do. So I don't like injustice. Whether you white, whether you black, you are supposed to have due process. They did not give that boy due process. And when I mean vengeance is the Lord's, because all them lies, Jeff came on live and showed his true colors. Sir, God don't say you got to physically murder somebody. He says murder starts in your heart. So the way that you have been has been a disgrace to being a believer in Jesus Christ. That is not how people of God condone a situation. And he doesn't need to act like he was going there trying to start peace. You had shades on with your shoulder broke, sir. You weren't trying to create peace. You were trying to create chaos. So I'm praying that justice be served. And God is the ultimate judge, not Judge Roach. He the DA. He sit at the right hand of the Father interceding for that young man. So I'm sorry. I know I got passionate, but this is not okay. This is not okay. And if this was somebody else's child, whether it was their son or their daughter, some of these people wouldn't have the views that they have. He was in imminent danger to him. And if he wasn't, Judge Roach, why did you prevent a psychiatrist or a psychologist coming in and presenting on his behalf? If you knew he did it and you had him in 4K, what did it matter? Because you didn't. And you put all of those juries against them and you made preemptive strikes against them when they were educators. What better people than to make decisions? Oh, but according to Jeff, black people can't make decisions. We're not qualified to make decisions. That's okay, because I know Jesus is qualified. And I'm praying against every demon that's going on right now. But that's all I have to say. I can't hear you, so
All right. Thank you so much, Brittany. Brittany couldn't hear us, but I loved and liked everything she said. Thank you so much. So I am going to bring our next guest up. Hello, Nikki.
Hi, Keisha. I'm actually one of your mods. How are you?
Nick. Oh, Nikki. Okay.
If I
Hey.
actually my picture changed. Keisha, I really want to say first and foremost, like I'm gonna try not to get emotional. Thank you so much for reporting on this Karmelo case. And like Brittany was just up here, this hit me real hard too as well. I was 17 when I had my first child. I have a 20-month-old son, and my son is actually 17, my oldest. And he's actually a good kid, like the opposite of me. So you always crack me up when you be like, I was something else growing up. Because I'm 35 now. So my son, when I tell you, Keisha, he's the opposite of me. When I seen Karmelo, I literally seen my son. My son has never been in a fight. He's a good kid. He actually goes to a school where it's like primarily like white, because I'm here in California, and he goes to a really good school in Torrance, California. But back to this case, Keisha, this is some crazy stuff. I have never in my life
Yes.
seen nothing like this. Like what they did to him
Right. You
is
know what?
crazy. It's sickening and it's disgusting and it's disgrace. And that judge, I'm sorry, Keisha, just please let me just Keisha, when that judge got on that TV, you seen it all in his face. He know what he did. He know that. And you know what? My boyfriend was saying too. I was like, they all seen the real tape and they know he didn't do it. And they still put him in jail. And them jurors, I'm like, who are these people?
Right.
What happened here? Because I'm really like it's like words can't even explain how I feel. I'm so sad. And like since this happened, my heart has really been aching for this kid. Cause I'm thinking like my son is in his bed. We all in our good beds. Carmelo was supposed to be sleeping in his bed with his family, getting ready to play football. This was a straight A school student. And what broke my heart was when they said that he was taking online classes doing all this. I said, oh my God.
Right.
I said he still had a good spirit of God in him. What do we do?
Well, I feel like unfortunately this happened to Karmelo, but I honestly believe it starts with the goofy that we have in the White House. I believe
Mm-hmm.
this man has been so corrupt and have stated, look at what he's doing now, saying only white people can come into the country. He's a racist president. So I feel like he is really set the precedent for these racist folks to do what it is they do. Now, I feel so much better. I hate that Karmelo is going through this, but I can see
Mm-hmm.
light now at the end of the tunnel. Unfortunately, he is in prison, but he's going to come out and they're going to know not to F with us ever again. Because just like we stood 13 toes down with Karmelo, we ain't even got 13 toes. We're willing to do it again and again. And this is what we have to show these folks. They thought what was going to happen is they was just going to throw this, because I keep referring to him as a kid because
Mm-hmm.
he is. You thought
He
you was
is.
throw him in prison and we were going to be okay with it. Absolutely not. He got a team of lawyers that stepped in. They ain't even charging. You see what I'm saying? Because when we tried to do these different funds to raise money, they
It just
shut
wasn't working out. It was not working out. And you know what? Also, Keisha, sorry not to cut you up. I was thinking too. So they didn't. You got to think, Keisha. We living in a different times now. So, I mean, I'm not being funny, so I don't nobody take this the wrong way. But you know, at this point, you ain't even got to go to law school. We didn't all figured it out. We just need that clear tape. We know what really happened. And then also, I think by the time this is all said and done, and mark my words, Keisha, it's gonna be either a Carmelo law or a Carmelo act. Because when we get done with these people, we gonna
right,
tear them up. And I think them lawyers, you gotta think about it. It's about 6 of them. Everybody got a job, so everybody, I know they're looking for cuts and they looking for things that was done wrong. And I know they're looking for just they gonna find something. And I've been hearing a lot of things that corruption. I'm just like, my next question is, why would they take the chance on doing all this and then all the corruption come out?
So the thing about it, when you think about white supremacy, these people feel like they've been doing this forever. So to me, this is the most blatant that I've ever saw people just do what the hell they want to do. But what I'm loving about this new team that Carmelo has, they ain't effing around, okay? Because I didn't even know that he can get a new trial. So what they're doing is they're exhausting everything. And I like
Mm-hmm.
smart ass attorney. So basically, what I've learned from the attorneys that we just had on on the show is that them asking for a new trial is separate from the appeal. So basically, they're still reserving their right to appeal. They're buying themselves more time, but yet
Mm-hmm.
still asking for another trial. So basically,
I
it's
love that.
so let's give you an example. Let's say Karmelo gets a new trial and he's found not guilty. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
We
That's
don't need.
it.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So unfortunately, it's a bad situation now. I hate that he's there, but I do feel like that this is going to be turned around, and I really hope these people go to prison. That's
Oh
what I
yeah,
hope.
me too. And God is the redeemer. He gonna make sure, like Brittany just said, God see everything. He know what really happened. We know what really happened, and when, it's gonna be real nasty when it all come out. And Keisha, I know you busy. I know other people want to come out, and that was me who messaged you on Instagram when I was
No, I
when I
have your Instagram. I have yours marked, but
okay.
the thing with the Instagram is I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Keep in mind, guys, I'm on Instagram, but I wasn't getting a lot of Instagram messages. They flooding me with the Instagram messages to the point that I am saving them in the like. I think you have the general folder and then another folder. I think I was mixing them up till it was just making me so like, where in the like where are my messages? So I'm kind of catching up with it, but a lot of the messages, if I don't want to accept it, I'm just going to read it, because once I click on accept, it just becomes too much. But yours, I have yours. I have your message, so I know who you are. But your
Okay,
picture,
perfect. Yeah,
because
it's
that's a different.
different. And I just want to say one more thing. Everybody like and subscribe. I am one of her mods, and you guys keep it classy, keep it cute, because if not, I will block you, and make sure you be respectful, because Keisha is taking her time every day out of her day to report on this. And I know y'all want her to keep the content coming, but please be respectful because she is doing a lot doing this. Thank you, Keisha.
You take care. Okay, so who do we have next? We have. I'm just kind of going in order. By Black, you're up. Let me unmute your mic is muted. By Black DFWX. Are you here? Are you there? Okay, I'm gonna drop you back down. Okay, Timberlake is I'm sorry, TM Drake. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, this interview was wonderful. I've been in here a couple of times, kind of behind the bushes, but I'm so glad I caught this.
Okay.
It's just great to hear the information
Right.
because on the social media, you hear all these naysayers saying, "Oh, that's impossible. Those still is impossible," but they broke down exactly great points, great legal points by great, look, educated, chocolate
Right.
lawyers that gives us hope, right?
Right.
I can't believe, like, when the jury went into deliberate, I was working, but when 3 hours later, come back to hear this baby got 35 years, and my
Right.
heart just hit the floor. I'm the mother of four black boys, right? Everybody's grown, but I just can't imagine what that mother's feeling. Okay, I understand that he said I did it, but I don't think he knew to the extent of what had happened. I think he just struck, just maybe out of fear, he just acted and ran. And if you could see that when he said, "Is he okay?" I didn't. I mean, I told him not to put his hands on me. He did not know to the extent of what happened. I don't think his intention was to do that at all. I can't believe they opted for a murder one. And then your first caller, you said capital murder. Capital murder is totally different because it's a felony on top of the death. So if he had to rob somebody and then do that to somebody before it's capital murder, that's not capital murder. I think the option of manslaughter may have been a little bit better if he couldn't get self defense. But this child didn't. He didn't deserve murder one. I'm looking forward to see the rest of the road. I'm claiming that he's going to be victorious and he's going to be able to um, help others. He'll be a strong advocate if he gets out of there for other people that are experiencing the same thing. And I agree with you that man in the White House is setting it's setting a precedent that these other people think they can do what they want to do and just stand on it in public, and we're just supposed to take it. So I agree with you. I thank you so much for this. It was so good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Have a great day. Okay, we gotta bring up. Let's try it again.
Okay, can you hear me?
Are you there? Yes, I
Yeah,
can
I'm
hear
here.
you.
Okay, okay. I don't know
Oh,
what happened. I could hear you. You couldn't hear me. Okay, yeah. So I was listening to the other callers, and I want to just first speak on the Nigerian that said he was talking to his lawyer friends that told him that Karmelo didn't stand a chance. And I thought that was kind of an odd statement when we just listened for an hour for two black lawyers telling us how he could have won the case. So I don't really know where that comment came from, because for a whole hour they ran through how they were able to defend their clients each and every time, murder cases. So I thought that was kind of weird. The second thing I want to say is that when people say Carmelo said he did it, nobody asked him what he did. And also, that statement should not even been admissible in court because rights were administered to him. He did not get his Miranda rights. There was no magistrate judge reading rights to him. So actually, those statements should not have been allowed in the courtroom, in my opinion. I'm not an attorney. I don't know, in my opinion. Lastly, I want to say, as far as where you live, they live in Collin County. He would have had a totally different experience in Dallas County. I live in Dallas County. So even though we talk about the White House, it also makes a difference where you live, locally too. Pay attention to where you live, who is representing you. If you get in trouble, who are going to be the people to go after you if something like this happens?
right.
And go ahead.
No, I was going to say that is extremely important. That is very important. It took me until I got in my late 40s to realize I ain't finna live around a bunch of white tees. Not saying that I'm racist, but if I need to call the police, I need to know what y'all gonna look like. If I have to call the police and every single time they all gonna be white, I'm not living there. I'm just gonna be honest. What you said is very important. You got to know where you're living at, who represents you, what they look like. Now, this ain't about race, but black folks need to represent black people. Okay. Let's just say it like that. So when you're moving in these areas, make sure that you know where you're moving to. I think that I just wanted to re-emphasize that.
And the last thing I want to say, I appreciate you always saying Carmelo did not do this. I feel like that too. Attorneys can't say that, but when something is not sitting right with you, when it's, first of all, he ran and told it himself. All you've been seeing these people do is lie and cover up ever since even while their friend was dying, they throwing away evidence, changing clothes, doing all these weird things, and Carmelo is telling on himself, but he don't even know what happened.
Right. The reason why I said that is because I had to go back and kind of think about it. The reason why I thought he did it is because that's what they had told us, right? They showed us a video where it seemed that he had admitted it. But now, since we're waiting to watch this video where it shows us what happened, it's edited and they're not showing it to us. Now, one thing I know about this country is they're going to drag a black person every chance they get. So you're telling me you committed this crime, but you can't show us the video. Then I go back and I think about what I've been told about this case. And I said, well, they told us that he admitted it. So therefore we said, okay, he did do it. But now when I watch the video, now I'm looking at it with a different, my eyes are different now. And he says it's not alleged. First of all, we don't know what he was referring to. He never
That's right.
said, I did it. He said, I'm not alleged. That could have been, I am me. It's not alleged. That could have been one example, and it could have meant other things. I don't believe he knew that that boy had been injured like that. When we watch the video, again, this is their edited video, we see him run off, he's gone, and then we see them still tussling, which is telling me that the tussle happened after he left because he was gone. And so if they're pursuing Karmelo, why are they still tussling and he is?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense. So it makes me think that Karmelo could have had a weapon and he could have pulled it out, but I don't believe that his whatever he had was the one that actually took that boy out of here. Let me tell you more. Why come we can't see the autopsy? Why is it sealed? What are they hiding? That is why I said I don't believe that he actually did it. Now, as an attorney, I'm not an attorney. You are an attorney with a bar card. Of course, you shouldn't probably say that, which, after I thought about it, I said, okay, it makes sense. But I don't think he did it. I believe that he could have had a weapon. And if you think about it, think about a 17-year-old. Let's say you had a weapon and you swung it and you slashed somebody on the arm. I don't know. I'm just speculating. And then you run off and then the adult tell you this person may die. Now you like, what? You know what I mean? But even then he says, oh, he'll be okay, because he's assuming that what he did is not something that's going to take this person out of there. But then think about people saying, oh, you did it. You did it. So you understand how that can
Yeah.
sometimes make you think like, how? You
And
know
the
what I mean?
coach wasn't even there, so he don't even know what happened. So the coach is on the field. You run into someone all the way across the field. He don't even know what happened. So when he said you did it, he don't even know. So is he the judge, the jury, the coach that Carmelo was listening to? One thing I want to tell people, on the Collin County website, they have posted the evidence, right? And if you look at all the evidence, they have posted the two knives. They don't even know which knife it was. So how you gonna say where's the DNA? Where's the fingerprints? Show me that this boy did this. They can't even do that if you can't even determine the weapon. So that's all. But you keep it up, and I believe you. He did not do this.
Thank you for joining. Take care. Okay. Thank you for joining. Two kids. Shawty,
Hey,
what's
can
your?
you hear me?
I can hear you. Tell us what's your screen name again, please. Can you hear us? All right, we're gonna go to the next person. Okay, Miss Cookie, you're up. Miss Cookie, go ahead.
Hey, Miss Keisha, how you doing?
I am great. Thank you for joining.
Okay, that Ace Boogie guy that came up, hi- his comment was really disturbing to me. Because for about an hour you had two lawyers, and they they were on point, and they gave some great information about the law, how it works, the things that Carmelo Anthony lawyer should have done that he did not do. But then the Ace Boogie guy come up there and he states that he knows some lawyers, and they stated to him that basically Carmelo wasn't going to get off. And I always say this right. I have four sons, and I always say this right here. And when I hear stuff like that right there, this is not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Social social media do not believe in God. They don't understand what could happen. Carmelo has a lot of people out there that are praying for him because they know that what has been done to him is unfair. They know that it's wrong. I listened to the bully's mom last night, right? As I think it was last night as she was talking. And I thought about one thing that she said that she thought was funny. She stated that one of her sons was dating a little girl, and the other son started dating the little girl. and they went to prom or they went out together, but the other little boy was kind of upset about the situation. What I thought to myself was, even though sometimes we forget, we act like we forgive when we go on with life, but that could have been an opportunity for him to do whatever he wanted to do to his brother, because maybe he was upset. Maybe we don't know, like that lawyer said, you don't know what be going on in someone's head. And for two boy brothers to mess around with the same girl, and the mom thinks that she thought it was, she just started laughing. She actually thought it was funny.
Are you talking about the twins' mother? As her
Yeah, I
name?
call them the boogies. I call them the bullies.
So that's interesting. You stated that, because I was told that, and I don't know if this is correct. So I'm going to say allegedly. I was told that the brother Hunter went to prom with Austin's girlfriend. I don't know if that's true, but it's interesting. Now, heard the mother say that they dated the same girl, and she thought that was funny.
No, yes. Let me tell you, the lady, whoever the lady was, she's okay. I can't tell you exactly. I'm gonna paraphrase, right? The lady said, "So, what about the two brothers, the bullies, dating the same girl or whatever, right?" And she said, and then she went into whatever brother was dating the little girl. Then the other little brother started going with the girl, and they went. I think they either went to prom or went on a date or something. So the date may have been prom, but that's what they went on. Go back and listen to it. And I thought to myself, first of all, I have 4 sons, and I would not have thought that that was funny that my 2 boys are sharing the same girl, because somebody is going to be upset that somebody is dating somebody. So when I listen to that right there, it just lets me know that those people have a lot going on in their household. And she even admitted herself that Hunter, he got anger issues. He's the one that will go out before Austin. She said all this herself. And then I'm gonna paraphrase again. She stated that when Hunter went to court, and the detective stated to him that he could not go into court, but he was there as a witness. If they needed to take him to the call him to the stand, then he was there to be called to the stand, right? Then she stated that he got upset as always, and the detective pulled him to the. I think the detective or the DA, I think it was one or the other, but they pulled him to the side. And once they pulled him to the side and he turned back around, he had a badge on to go into court, right? He did not supposed to be in court. That's what she said. But you can go back and listen to it now. He did
I
not supposed he did not supposed to be in court, but they allowed him to come in court and stand on the back wall. And well, the people just got up and they sat down so that the jury didn't see him anyway. But if he didn't supposed to be in there, then why was he in there? Because you may not have thought that I didn't know who that was, or somebody could have said, "Okay, look at that person," and then somebody else could have said, "Well, you know that was Hunter. That was Hunter. He way bigger than Karmelo." But at that time, could they have said something? No, because they, from my understanding, I don't know if they had already read off the guilty plea or whatever, read off that he was guilty or whatever, so forth. But again, like I said, that just let you know that there's a lot going on in their house. There's a lot of lies that are being told, and I'm just glad that you are covering. I look for you to come on, but I'm glad that you're covering it, and I'm glad that you're putting educated people like lawyers and people that were there, and not just the social media people just talking and running their mouths. And one thing I noticed, that I didn't see a lot of trolls when the lawyers were talking and stuff. I didn't see
right.
a lot of trolls in your chat. But soon as the lawyers got off, I'm sitting here like, darn, they need to block that person and block that person. So you had a lot of trolls that came on after the lawyer. But keep up the good work, and I'm grateful that you putting out the information like that for us. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the platform. Have a great rest of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, let me acknowledge some of these super chats. Um, Here we go with these names. I think y'all be doing this shit on purpose with these names. Egan, what is this? I ain't even trying to read all this. Y'all be doing too much. What Egan Manic son? I mean, thank you for the $5, but here y'all go with these names. Wouldn't recusal be based on the friendship, by the way, Judge Roach and Jeff Metcalf to begin with? That's the only basis needed right now. Yeah, but I totally understand what you're saying, but I think they want to go with stuff they can really prove. Them saying that they had a relationship and not really being able to prove it, that is a picture, but the man said that it wasn't him. So I don't think they want to just be throwing stuff at the wall. They want something that's going to stick. But I do agree with you, but keep in mind, these are attorneys who went to law school. They ain't like us, okay? Well, we're just figuring it out. So I get what you're saying, but they want to use the legal means that's going to stick. They don't want to be using stuff, you know what I mean? Just throwing stuff at the wall. I get what you're saying, but yes, I agree. But I mean, what's up with that name? Can you tell me what your name means? Thank you, Protect Your Peace 2026, for the membership. I appreciate you. Steffi, here we go. Steffi Whitby 83. Thank you for the membership. I'm starting to think y'all be coming up with these names on purpose, because I'm like, what do y'all be talking about? All right. Did I bring? I think I had Cookie up already. Wasn't that Cookie that just left here? I think Cookie has came up already. Okay. So let's go with the next person. Let's bring up, okay, we're gonna try it again.
Hey,
Can you hear
Keisha,
us
you can hear
now?
me?
Yes, we can hear you. What's going on?
Hey, Keisha. Okay, my name is Two Kids Shawty. I say that because my kid, they a little wild. But Keisha, I love you so much. I'm not gonna hold you long. I just had to make a few points. I myself am an educator. I work with kids who are special needs and have autism and other unknown disabilities. It bothers my soul to hear people call this young man a murderer. He's not a murderer. He did not wake up that morning with the intent, oh, I'm gonna go to my track meet and just go pick out a random person and do that. He's not a murderer. He's a kid, was in a tough situation, and he had to act on his feet. Now, I agree, Keisha. I don't think he did it either. We don't know. They keep changing the stuff in the videos. They put stuff out, then they take it back. I don't know. But yeah, I don't, I wish people would just stop labeling him as a murderer. That's one. Two, the guy that came up, all I got to say to him is, my grandma told me it's better to be thought as smart than to open up your mouth and remove all doubt. So that's that. Also, I want to say this as far as Jeff Metcalf. I agree with him on one thing, and that is the stuff starts at home with the parents, because you literally just told on yourself. You told us, you showed us what truly goes on and what truly happened under that tent. You did that yourself, and you going on all these press conference, interviews, whatever, to do what? You keep repeating these same.
Uh-oh.
Change what happened or anything like that. It's not going to do that. I'm trying to think. Last thing, as far as the jury, they struck 3 black jurors because of them being educators. Here's the thing with that. I could work in a cafeteria in a school and be considered an educator. I don't think that it was that. I think they struck them because they're educated. It's a difference. Just because I'm smart, I went to college, I got a degree, I work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm knowledgeable, or I have the means to go do research, I can read, I can write, I can comprehend. They're scared of that. That's why they keep trying to push this narrative and trying to be like, y'all just need to accept it. No, y'all are scared. You're shaking in your boots because y'all thought that this kid and his family would just sit back and just let him go off to prison, and that was going to be that. Y'all underestimated the power of the system. And the same system that y'all sat there and built on honesty, fairness, consistency, equality, respect, that same system that y'all built on that is now flipping on y'all, and y'all do not know what else to do. Um, that's all I really have to say. Again, I love you, Keisha. I watch you all the time, and I'm learning so much. So I really do appreciate you putting in your time, effort, blood, sweat, tears to get accurate information out.
Okay, thank you. See you later. Thanks for coming up. Okay, let me make sure okay. So again, if you guys are sending in a message that you want me to read, go ahead and super chat it. Otherwise, you're welcome to send them in, but there's a lot of messages in here. So let's bring up our next guest. Freshly.
Hey Keisha, how you doing?
I'm
I
great.
just wanna say I noticed none of the witnesses stated they saw the poking. They all stated they saw Austin push Karmelo, but none of them stated they saw the poking. And I think I wish he didn't make any statements during the time he was being handcuffed and stuff, because I think they used that as a confession. But I think if he didn't say anything, it would have been it could have been a chance where they could have try to see if who did it, because him making that statement, I think that's what messed him up, because none of the witnesses saw him do it.
So I don't, so in just looking at this case in its entirety, I don't believe, I think they used that against him because in order for him to confess, he would have to say what it is. You can't say it's not alleged. What does that mean? That's like an incomplete sentence. You know what I mean? Like somebody say it's not alleged. What does that mean? That is not a confession. Now, I don't have a law degree, but I have taken some classes in pursuit of my undergrad degree, and I think some of the classes that I had taken, some of them were criminal justice. While my degree is not in criminal justice, I did take some classes. Now, what I learned is here's one of the things. In order for you to say he admitted it, that would mean that he gave a statement saying that he did it. Now, if you don't have a statement that he signed and said he did it, he didn't admit nothing. Him saying it's not alleged is him saying it's not alleged. And we need to figure out what did he mean when he said that. But what we have learned with this particular case is they're using that statement to say, well, he said it wasn't alleged, and that is not accurate. That's not an
Right,
accurate.
right, because when the police, I think in the video, if whenever you get a chance and you hear the video, I think the police officer stated, he said, I think I have the alleged suspect. And then when he said he not alleged, he was saying he's not the alleged suspect. See, that's the part.
Right. And again, you have to understand too, these are people that work in law enforcement. They know what a confession is. They do these all the time. So him saying it's not alleged, that is not a confession. That's not a confession. They know a confession is either them recording you saying that you did it or you writing down that you said you did it. Now, what we think from what we've been told is that he did say that he did it. But the reason why I said I don't believe it is because I should be able to look at the tape like everybody else that saw the tape and see that he did it. Now, what I've learned from the people that I found, and they came on my platform, they said that they saw the video. They all said the same thing. The video was clear.
Mm-hmm.
They're showing us a grainy video. Why? When I see the video, I see Karmelo had already taken off. So I I don't believe that he did it. I do believe that obviously there was a scuffle. I believe that somebody did it. I don't believe that it was him. Now, this part too, because I'm definitely a conspiracy theorist myself. If the stuff don't line up, it is a damn conspiracy. Now, we just heard a lady come up and she had heard the mother, I believe, over there on TikTok. I didn't hear the one that she was referring to, but people have reached out and told me that Hunter had taken this his brother's ex-girlfriend to prom. I think that's weird. Now I'm receiving information. Somebody just emailed me and said not only did he take this girl to prom, he moved in with her and her parents. That is weird. So that's kind of letting me believe that you were jealous of your brother because why do you want his girlfriend? That's weird. That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, a lot of things is just weird. Like I said, the witness is not even testifying, saying they didn't see it, but they saying he went in his bag and he did it, but they didn't see it. It's just not adding up. It's just not adding up. But that's all I had to say.
Well, thank you for coming up. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, guys, I want to acknowledge a super chat. So give me a second to bring it up. Time crime change 2639. Thank you for the 499. The video alone is reasonable doubt for me. All other witness statements were circumstantial and should be classified in jury deliberations. Exactly. I have a problem with the video because I don't understand why there are two videos. Like this one is clear, this one isn't clear. Also, I played a video where somebody, I don't know, they probably just got it off the website, where you see Hunter, what appears to be Hunter, pressing Karmelo. So yeah, and guys, listen, you have a twin. Okay, I don't know if you really have a twin, but I would imagine a twin bond is extremely strong. So your twin loses his or her life and you don't even take the stand, man, get up out of here with that. It's something else to that. I don't care what nobody say. It's something else to that. So let me bring up our next guest. Hello, can you hear
Hello?
us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Thanks for
Okay. Hello. Um, okay, so my brain is scrambling right now. Um, I wanted to say that I've been watching a whole bunch of videos, different people's videos, and I did see on another channel that he did show the autopsy, and you know how it says the first thing they died of and then the second thing, and the first thing was some drugs and then the stabbing.
right.
So
Let me just kind
um
of clarify. Let me just jump in there and clarify that. So we did find out so there's a lot of people that's been leaking information, and some of the information that they've been leaking is not exactly correct.
mhm,
Now, I learned from somebody else is that autopsy information that we have all mysteriously received, somebody said that it was partially correct and partially wrong. The issue with that
mhm,
is we don't know what's correct and what's not correct. But I know what you're talking about. So keep in mind that is not the actual document. The real
mhm,
the real autopsy, they have blocked us from getting it. So it
okay,
should kind of make you wonder why. Because I mean, I do
mhm,
research on people all the time. I've gotten autopsies before. They normally don't seal it. But the fact
mhm.
that they have convicted somebody for 35 years and still withholding the evidence, but then releasing bullshit evidence to the public because they want to make it seem like they're showing us everything is kind of, you know, I'm looking side eye like, yeah,
You know
it's
why it made sense to me though that he would have been high? Not saying that that's how he died, but they weren't supposed to be there. Both of them were suspended, and he probably got high because he wasn't sure if he was going to be there or whatever. And then they asked the coach. Coach said they can come up there. Now, I did see on someone else's channel that one of the I think it was an adult witness, said that Karmelo picked up Hunter's knife the tool that he used to put the tent together in the morning, his tool. So it wasn't even Karmelo's tool, it was Hunter's tool. He picked up his tool.
Right.
So, but the main reason why I called is because I was thinking somebody else was gonna say it, but when I watched the video on the part where Karmelo says, you know, the alleged part, I paid more attention to what he said before that. He said, "I know how this goes. I'm not alleged. I did it." So how do we know he wasn't saying they're gonna blame me anyway? Because he said,
Wow.
"I know how this goes.
Right.
I'm not
And
alleged. I did it."
right. And again, when it comes to somebody admitting, there cannot be, you can't be like, well, he admitted it. They literally have to say it. I did this. Me saying I'm not alleged, I did it. You did what? You
Well,
actually have to
they
say what.
can't count anything that he said before they read him his rights anyway.
True, true. Again, that would come into his attorney, which
Mhm.
attorney was just, I mean, his attorney should be arrested. I mean, this should be criminal. I mean, at some point, like he did
Mhm.
Carmelo such a disservice. He should have just said, I can't represent him. I'm just not
Mhm.
understanding how did it get
Mhm.
to this point, except for he did it purposefully because like I said before, we all make mistakes, but for you to continue to make these same mistakes, it kind of proves the point that you were working with this other side.
Mhm. I guess the last thing I want to leave everybody with is I went some days like in tears because my son just turned 18. He just graduated from high school, and I'm sure all of us see our sons in Carmelo. And this is why it's affecting us, especially as a mother, really hard. But then I had to also think about our past and all the heroes we got, and they did not go through good things to get that spot. And even though Carmelo didn't ask for that, this is probably what's happening to him. I hate that he had to get taken away from, his childhood and everything else, but I think this is all for a reason. This is the reason why he's heavily protected in prison. That's for us. When people are letting us know that he's okay, that's for us. Carmelo's, he know he's okay. It's just us that need to know that. But I think this happened to him because he's about to be in our history books in the future. You
Right.
know,
I agree. And I love how you said that because this happened around my birthday and I just couldn't celebrate because just what you said. I have never met Carmelo. I ain't never met his parents. I know nothing about them. When I see him, I see my sons because my sons ain't never been to jail. They're
mhm,
respectful. They work jobs. And that's what I see. So immediately when I saw it, I was like, oh, hell to the no. I'm
mhm,
going to do whatever I can do if it ain't nothing but making videos all day, calling people to talk about it. So I was so consumed to the point that it was actually refreshing because I felt like, at least I can do this. And as you stated, I started to become conflicted in my mind because I was like, how do you put this kid in prison like he's a kid? And then I start to feel that he was going to be protected and that what nothing going to happen to him. And then we start hearing these stories, to come out. There was I think it was like a parole agent. I don't remember if I'm saying it correctly, but she actually got fired because the folks reported her and said that she was like, ain't nobody effing with Carmelo. Nobody. Okay. And I just felt the unity that I knew that he was going to be protected because that I was mad. Like I was really
mhm,
angry. My son was like, Mom, you really upset, aren't you?
mhm, mhm. I
Really
was too. I was crying because you know, now some black people out there do get on my nerve, but when I see black people, I see me. You are me. So it's hard for me not to get affected by this because Carmelo is my kid too. If I saw him out there doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, I would be saying something to him like he was my son. So I look at his face and I look at these pictures that's posted to him and I'm like, don't worry about it because this is all going to be fixed. And I don't know if he planned on going to college or whatever. And you know how that's, him getting out and having to, even if his name was clear, people are still going to be looking at him crazy. But I believe that he's going to be in a position somewhere in something, even if he turns into an activist himself. I think the universe just wanted to redirect. Maybe he wasn't supposed to go to school for whatever he was going to go for. Maybe he needed to be redirected. And this is an ugly way right now, but I think we're going to see something good come out of this.
Right. I know that we will. From what I
Mhm.
have learned is that he wanted to be an attorney. And I said, he gonna be a
Mhm.
badass attorney. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He know just how crooked this system is. He gonna
Mhm.
be another kick-ass attorney. We don't need no more weak-ass attorneys. That's why I'm not interested in them being over here. I only want the badass attorneys because those are the people that if I was in trouble, I need me a badass attorney. I don't need no quiet attorney. Not no get in here and fight. You see what I'm saying? So he definitely gonna be a badass attorney if
Mhm.
decides to go that route. But from what I've heard, they said that he wanted to be attorney. But like you said, it's an ugly road to take. But in the end, he will be victorious. And we let
Mhm.
these fuckers know that don't do it again. Don't do it again. This is only the start. My
Yeah.
power coming for your ass. We want your license. We want your bar card. We want
Mhm.
you in prison. We want to know how we can put Mike Howard in prison. We want to know how we can put the judge in prison. We want all y'all ass in prison because I feel like this was a concerted effort to use his attorney. His attorney joined in with it. I feel like they did it together. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I see it. Mhm.
Yeah. Where he was scared because they got some weird stuff going on, and even if they weasel themselves out of it and don't go to prison, karma is thick. It's so much bad things coming to them. You can't do this to somebody. That's another reason why I had to think, wait a minute, he's okay. He's gonna be okay because he was a good kid. It's not like he was out there doing bad things or whatever. So he's gonna be okay. It's them that they gotta worry about it. They got a lot to worry about. I know they think they did something and I know they think they got away with it, but even if they don't go to jail, Mm,
Right.
you
Listen,
know,
I would want to deal with people any day than deal with God. Y'all
mhm,
shut down everybody's fun. Y'all did all of this when only thing they were trying to do was raise funds for one lawyer. Look how God worked. He got three lawyers, three co-counsel. That's six lawyers, dumb people that was trying to stop. So he didn't get one. You see how that works? You did all of this for nothing. You should have left well enough alone. They probably would have just got one lawyer, but because you were so dirty, God gave him six lawyers, and we ain't even counting Ben Crump because Ben Crump is who gonna sue their ass. So I feel like Carmelo should, obviously he's young, he'll go and do great things, but I feel like they family should sue their ass so if they don't never want to work, they don't have to. Because think about it, after the damage to their reputation, where would really would they work? They're gonna have to create something else that's going to make them some kind of income because it's going to be hard. If you recall, his father was pretty much had to leave his job because these folks was coming up to his job. Coming up
you
to his
the last thing I want to say, um, young people, especially in this day and age with the internet and they don't keep their mouth closed. Remember how we grew up? You know, we didn't tell what went on in our household and stuff like that. And a lot of young people like to put stuff on the internet. They like to tell their business. So the truth is going to come out. I mean, I know that they said a lot of these kids have the stuff on their cameras. Eddie was recording it. And you know, all of it, I hope all of it come out, why he had those bloody clothes on and why he was changing his clothes and all that. All that stuff is going to come out later. But I kind of feel like because of how unhinged Hunter is, the truth is probably going to come from him on an accident. I mean, he didn't already ran his mouth too much, but I think he's unstable mentally, and I
Oh,
think he's gonna do something and end up.
right. I agree because
Mhm,
Hunter, again, this is why I feel like it's something else there.
mhm,
He doesn't give me grieving brother. If you go to
mhm.
his page, he has a list of news stories where people are saying derogatory things about him. Why is that so? Why does he care? You see what I'm saying? Like, why do
I
you
mean,
care?
but do okay. So we saying that about Hunter, but I kind of feel like that about the dad too. They didn't even like each other. The dad and Austin didn't even like each other. He's doing this now after Austin is not here, but he didn't even live with you. He didn't like you. So I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't love his son, but all this extra stuff is just to get money. I don't feel like he, you know, ain't no telling what him and Hunter was over there, you know, used to talk about when Austin was alive and living with his mother, you know. So, but I feel like the truth is going to end up coming out of, they can't, they feel guilty, and I know they probably got scared, like if you tell the truth, it's you who's going to be going to jail. And maybe they're trying to protect Hunter because it was his tool. You know how they keep trying to put it into our ears, what was Karmelo doing up there with a knife anyway? That is letting me know that it was probably Hunter's, because the person who said it dropped on the seat and Karmelo picked it up. There was a witness that said that, so it probably was his, and that's why they keep hurrying up and just trying to hurry up and get rid of Karmelo because they don't want all that stuff to come out.
Right. It's more to this story than meets the
Mhm,
eye. I can just tell. Listen, I got
mhm.
but listen, I be knowing. I don't know how I be knowing, but I know there is so many things that happen that it's just don't. Where's the explanation? Even Andrew and Mike, when they came, they were just here earlier in this broadcast. They even stated the judge basically saying that he thought he was like, what? Come on now, this is not what did Mike say? The judge is the referee. He's not there to pick sides. Why is he so invested in this case? Why? Why are you so invested?
And then you know how you was talking about the picture. You were saying, you know, they want to go on facts, but remember in the beginning, the judge was supposed to recuse himself, but he wouldn't. And they were saying it was a conflict of interest because they knew that he knew. Um, but from other people's videos that I've been seeing, shoot, they are all friends, and there's multiple pictures, and one of them defended someone's wife in divorce court, something like that. Whatever they all know each other. But I feel like this is all gonna come out, and this is gonna be something when we're like 90 something. I remember back in 2025, 26, and then we'll be able to talk about this case. You
Right,
know, because
right.
we're doing that already. I remember back in, you know, and we get to talk about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and I think Carmelo is just that. You know, he got picked for this.
Well, thank you for coming on the
Mhm. Thank-
platform. I appreciate you. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like
Yeah, I
the
subscribed. That's the only way I could have. It wouldn't let me say what I wanted to say because I was just going to type it, but I subscribed.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay. Michelle.
Hello.
Hi. How are you,
Hi.
Michelle?
Oh, hi, hi. I just want to quickly just weigh in, just kind of supporting what you had said as well, Keisha, as far as the omittance, him saying I did it, or the alleged part, more or less just saying that he was acknowledging I was the one you're looking for as far as involved in the event. Forgive me, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous, but I just want to further say I don't feel that he admitted to anything. I mean, it was such a high intense moment. It was chaotic. It was a lot going on. And I'm just going to jump to the skinny of what I wanted to further say with all the them messing with the tape and all of the editing. I mean, I also took notice I couldn't help but notice because I watch a lot of the cop things, the cop shows. And I noticed that even the cops body cam, I couldn't help but notice that it seems to me that it was also tampered with as well. Because when have you ever seen a body cam to where it is so, just it was like you couldn't even see Karmelo. Like it's almost like they purposely also did not want to show him at that moment, and as well, because again, if I think it was you had also made mention that it came out that Karmelo had said that he was in a headlock or a choke lock or something of that nature, and he had the bruises and but I noticed that the cop's body cam was so, like right there. And I'm like, that, I mean, it shouldn't have been so close. I mean, it's like, why was that to where we couldn't visibly see Karmelo even at that point too? I mean, because again, like I was even hearing that his booking mugshot was like airbrushed or touched up to where we couldn't see, see that he was involved in a, altercation to where, it would show like he was defending himself. I just.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I got to go back and look at some stuff today because they're telling me that there is some part of this footage that actually has the incorrect date on it. Because what people don't understand with editing, it's a huge job. So if you're editing some kind of footage and you
Right.
put a date on it, but they said the date was years earlier. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
There's just a lot of stuff that don't add up to me. It's just, and in all honesty, the reason why I am Team Karmelo, because they railroaded him. He did not get a fair trial. I don't want to hear about what he did because I had stated to my audience, I was in a situation when I was younger where some people jumped me. You can't tell me how a person feels when they're being attacked. You can't say, oh, well, he didn't feel or she didn't feel. You don't know what that person felt. Like, how do you get that? And then if you, even with the attorneys that were here earlier, when you think about what a person thought about, how do you know that you asked them? You see what I'm saying? That you asked them what was going through your head? Because keep in mind, the law says reasonable. What's reasonable to you is not reasonable. So it's not a one, situation. Is what did you feel at the time? What was going through your head? Also, what they also stated, and that's why I know they some good ass attorneys, is what did you know about this person? We don't know what Karmelo knew about these twins and what they had previously done. All of that goes into mind frame. If I know somebody kicked everybody's tail from here to Timbuktu, then that you know that if they're coming to me, I need to be ready. So yeah.
Exactly. And even, going back to, the footage to where you can clearly see that Hunter, he started, right away going up the stairs, look, with with the conversation toward Karmelo, meaning that just tells me y'all had, he may have not have been the guy, but it was definitely, you were going after him. Like Hunter went up to him and right away went to pressing him. And that makes me kind of wonder, like, what was the conversation, or what was to be, for that in the mix, you know what I'm saying? Because he went directly up them stairs, directly, hovering over Karmelo with putting the heat on him. So why? Like why? So what was, and I just know one or two things, going back, because I'm old school. Look, and my whole thing is, how they say, well, it's either money, and we know it wasn't nothing over money, or either it's what, punani, so what my whole thing is, who is the girlfriend? Because I have a son and these girls are busy. And my whole thing is, I can't help to know what part does she play? Because because we know, Eddie is supposedly her alleged family member, right? So, I mean, I think just knowing, who she is, like what is her role in certain things? Because the way Hunter approached him, it made me think, if you didn't know him, then no. I mean, the way Hunter approached him, it gave me the impression, no, you knew him, you knew of him, and y'all had a plan for him.
Oh, absolutely. Because like I was saying earlier, is there's another piece of footage that I showed that another guy shared on his TikTok, and you can clear see what alleged to be Hunter going. They haven't even got to sit down, and he's running up to him. So the story about them not knowing him makes it seem like he's a monster because he came, but they knew who he was. If you think about it, when you're in these sports,
you not
know these people as individuals, but you know who they are.
Right. And just the father to the twins, you could just tell, them boys grew up learning everything they know, their honorary ways from their dad. I mean, their model. But I can honestly tell you, just from my personal feelings, I just felt like an accident happened, meaning I think the pokey was definitely intended for Karmelo, but of course they messed up. And I think Hunter may have perhaps allegedly poked his brother. But how do you go and tell dad? How do you go and tell that type of dad that dad, I did it, it was an accident, or one of my crew, his best friend, the one that put the thing in the trash can? How do you go and tell dad we effed up? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like maybe they did tell dad they effed up, but the father is so hateful to where he would, no, I lost one boy. I'm not losing two. You know what I mean?
And you know what though? Honestly, I think that the father does know. You know why? Because I could imagine losing a child is devastating. But the amount of work that you're putting in on someone that's already 35 years is crazy to me.
Right.
That's crazy to me. So it almost lets me think that he is trying to cover up something, which lets you know that's how evil and low down he is.
Oh yeah. But the one thing I can honestly say, working with troubled youth, especially coming from the mental health profession, kids break. They get to a point where they can only hold it for so long, and just give it a minute. Just give it a minute and let God work. As the young people say, let him cook. Because when I tell you, all you have to do is get a hold of the one kid, and he's gonna they're gonna, like they say, they're gonna start spilling out. Just give it a minute. Because they're even showing text messages from a string of conversation from the kid that put that whatever he put in that trash can, where he's having an exchange with another kid, where he's just he's already sort of, spilling a little bit here and there, more or less, catch me if you can type thing. It's like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, they're not gonna they gonna start talking. And Hunter's a star right now. He's famous, and but his ego is gonna get the best of him.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you so much.
Make sure you like the video.
I enjoy you.
Thank you.
I really do. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. I do need you all to make sure you're liking the video. If you guys recall, the way that it works over here on YouTube is when you like the video, it pushes the video through YouTube's algorithm. Now, liking is free. Those are free ways to support the channel. Just hitting the like. It is the algorithm. This is how it works over here on YouTube. Please, everybody, if you have not already, go ahead and like the video. Now, I'm going to read this super chat. Josh, $4.99. Thank you for the super chat. Melo checked him at the middle school for bullying a girl. So was already heated and came on a mission. Now, I'm glad you said that, because sometimes I be forgetting stuff. Now, I was told that Melo was advocating or had advocated for, yes, you're correct, some girl that was being bullied, and Melo spoke up for this particular girl. So isn't it interesting how they say they didn't know him? You definitely knew who he was, because there was a situation where Melo had spoke up for a girl. Now, I also know that there was another situation. I don't know if it's the same girl or if it's somebody else, but they said it was a student with a disability or something to that nature. Now, again, I don't know if this is the girl that you're referring to, but he had allegedly, I guess, spoke up for this person as well. The twins were known bullies. I mean, the people couldn't be lying, okay? They were known bullies. The attorney Mike Campbell just said that he heard the mama call her own son bullies. Now, wait a minute. Lady, you know that your sons are bullies? Who, child, these folks is crazy. Just crazy. Make sure you guys are liking the video. If you guys have not liked the video, share the video. Now, tomorrow, I have it at I think we have it at 12 p.m. Eastern time. It may change. Now, let me tell you what tomorrow's interview is going to be about. Now, originally, we had spoke about the Frisco ISD video in which Dwayne stated that he saw, I'm starting to, forget the people's names, but I had Dwayne, and then I had a total of 3 other ladies that actually saw the Frisco ISD video. Now, they did send me proof that they saw the video, so I know that they actually saw the video. Now, tomorrow, what we're going to get into is some of the conversations that we have not discussed on this platform at all. And some of those are going to include the brothers and what we have learned as it relates to their background. Some of you guys have mentioned them staying with the mother and then one staying with the father. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Now, the mother is actively coming out saying that her sons dated the same girl. Now, that's interesting, because I already was given or provided information that Hunter took Austin's girlfriend to the prom. So we're going to get into that now that the mother has actually said that. Now, that's weird, okay? That is weird that your 2 sons are dating the same girl, okay? It's very, very weird. So let's get into this super chat. Josh, Melo okay, thank you, Josh. Josh is saying Melo worked with kids with disabilities, but you see how they never talked about that. Never. They may try to make Karmelo look like he had been in jail for 17 years. Okay, so I didn't like that either. Thank you for letting us know that, because I was told that he was advocating for somebody with a disability, but you said he was working with the kids with a disability. He's a great person. He shouldn't be in prison. He was railroaded. They lied on him. He did not get a fair trial. And I don't care who get mad and who don't like it. I'm standing on what I said. Hunter's aggression sent me back to Metcalf's interview, Metcalf's racist interview. Listen, those boys are exactly who they raised them to be. I always tell y'all, if you want to know about the kids, just meet their parents, okay? You'll get a good idea of who the children are. So we understand wholeheartedly who those twins were, okay? We know because we met their racist daddy. What y'all saying in the chat? All right, guys, so we're going to close here because I got to get to an event with my adult children. I'm so glad that they grown now, that, you know, I don't got to be doing that little baby shit no more. They is grown. So we're going to the spot. We were supposed to go yesterday. My daughter, you know, she be working, child, but she had to work. So we kind of put it off. And then I didn't want to go yesterday either because it got late. But we're going to go to the spa and relax. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate your support. I only ask you, if you have not liked the video, I need you to like the video, comment, let me know your thoughts. And of course, we will see you tomorrow. We have another interview at 12 o'clock. Make sure you guys check the community tab, because what happens if the interview time should change, I'll update it there. And then of course, I'll update it with the new video time. Well, I will see y'all later. Enjoy your day. And until next time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
Clear, spilling tea, no fear, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lies right here. Spilling tea, no fear. I'm still here. Da 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 da. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. Yeah. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here.
Stretch words like
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Make sure you subscribe to the Lakeysha Keysha channel.